that not only did students actually mature and develop personally during studies abroad, but this personal development overlapped to a great degree with what we like to call soft skills, or transferable skill, or transversal skills, which are extremely valuable to us as individuals in employment and working life. For example, decision-making, adaptability, communication, and so on and so on. But let's look at this with a little bit of a critical eye. Okay, so we know that these skills do develop and are trained in the diverse environment that is studied abroad. But why do employers ask for this? And do they ask for this? Well, to be honest, we see this everywhere. I think this is a good example. The LinkedIn Global Talent Trends Report from 2019 are not diminutive in their words. Soft skills can make or break a hire. 92% of 5,000 talent professionals say that soft skills matter as much or more than hard skills when they hire. Now, what does this mean? Well, one interpretation is that if I want to hire an engineer, I take an engineering degree for granted. I know that good graduates will apply. So what then makes the difference? Well, I also want an engineer who has leadership qualities, who can communicate, who can accept constructive criticism, who can adapt to changing plans and so on. So yes, hard skills are extremely important, but in many fields, such as STEM or social science, soft skills make the difference. So let's do the math. If we are starting to see research that shows that study abroad actually trains students in these soft skills when they are alone and managed by themselves on the other side of the world, and we see labor market data that shows that these skills are in demand, then that's fantastic. So what's the problem? Aren't we already finished? Well, the problem, as we started to see it, is that these skills are not often visible in recruitment. Recognition is not automatic. Let's look at some examples. Actually, this very same LinkedIn report say that everyone agrees soft skills are extremely valuable, but most companies still struggle to assess them. And I love this quote. Look at this one, the next one. From 2014, 7 years ago. Yes, we do look for international experience, but simply studying abroad is not enough. You have to be able to articulate concisely what you learned and how this benefits the organization, says an HR director. So this puts the responsibility on the individual. Not only do students need to understand what soft skills are and why they are needed on the labor market, they have to understand themselves well enough to be able to express this in a way that translates well to the recruiter. If we go back to the EU context, the EU is recognizing this as well. This is from the European Skills Agenda for 2025. They acknowledge that soft skills are often developed outside of formal learning and that it can be difficult to identify, recognize, and communicate those skills. I think a lot of interesting information resides in this quote, because it means that not only do students learn in the classroom in Korea or Chile or Sweden or Israel when they study abroad, they train soft skills when they adapt to a new living conditions, when they have a fight with a landlord or a disagreement in a foreign language, when they meet new friends, when they are forced to communicate and so on. So when the EU says that on the next phase of EU action on soft skill, more needs to be done. I like to ask ourselves, okay, so what can we do? And here are a few examples from our perspective. We have very good experiences from cooperating with career counseling offices. Now, this might seem obvious, but there's not always good overlap between international offices and career counseling. But in these offices, we have expertise and methodology that can be used to extract or unwrap soft skill trainings from studying abroad. We can develop and adapt learning materials in knowledge alliances. That's what we did in SkillMill. which we have great experiences from. And when we did this, we realized that a lot of information from skills frameworks, for example, World Economic Forum, OECD, the EU, is readily available together with teaching materials. And joint projects, for example, Erasmus Plus partnerships, are a very good way to do this in a structured form. We encourage people to find and use what has been done before. The European Commission has a project results database where you can access extremely competent work done by researchers and higher education professionals over several years in our joint attempts to tie study abroad to soft skill education and recognition closer together. A new example is Erasmus Skills. I do not work with them, so I'm not paid by them. But I read the report, I really liked it, and it's a guide for practitioners who want to recognize soft skills benefits from studying abroad. And I encourage you, both students and practitioners, to maybe give our project a try. We are developing an app that's going to be released for free as an EU project result next year. It is the world's first app for soft skills awareness during studies abroad. And we have aimed to bring all of these frameworks, the World Economic Forum, EU, OECD, and so on, and relevant and contemporary counseling methods to the user, to the student that is actually abroad or has just come home and need to unwrap their study abroad experiences, to do exactly what the EU is asking us all to do, to identify, understand, and express the soft skills development that we experience abroad. This has been a short intro. I am eager to give the floor to our experts from University of Tartu in Estonia. They are two of the experts who are building our theoretical framework, and they will go a little bit deeper into the aspect of soft skills before our game designer gives you an introduction to the app and gives you access as early beta users towards the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bjorn.
So, hello to all of you from Tartu, and I'm the one who is sharing probably the screen right now with our presentation, and Crystal, my dear colleague, will start. Just a second. Let's see if I'm also... can you see right now our presentation, my screen?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Everything is correct?
Yep.
Okay, but not a slide view.
No, try to open it.
Yeah, let me try to change that. And how about now?
It's still loading, but let's see what happens. No, we see the presenter view.
Presenter view, okay. And now? Did it change somehow?
No. Do you have two screens active or one screen?
Sorry for this.
Try to reshare and pick an option with the presenter mode.
Let's try it once again. Check some technical issues just before our meeting.
I think it's an excellent example of adaptability skills.
Yeah, you have the possibility to observe the slow Estonians again. I like the joke about ourselves so much that I'm overusing it.
Maybe I can introduce myself if you are dealing with technical issues.
Do that.
Yes,
Now it looks good.
Properly.
Okay.
no, it's correct. And as Björn already introduced us, we come from University of Tartu. It's the biggest university in Estonia. And my name is Kristel Lansari. I have been career counselor about 15 years. But now last years, I'm head of counseling center in our university, but I'm still, I'm very keen of this career field, and that's why I try to be part of career counseling also in my job. Katri.
Yes, I will briefly introduce myself as well. And I am a career counselor at the same counseling center of University of Tartu, of course. And my history with the career counseling is also quite long, I guess. Because I remember having my first client somewhere 2001. But I haven't been occupied in this field fully, not all of the time, but the latest years, let's say 5-8 years, I've been fully in this field active. Is now everything okay with sharing? You can see the slides.
Yes, now it looks perfect.
Good. I tried to not to change anything and remain still here. So we can move on from here. Yeah. Okay, so now it works.
What we try to share with you is today discuss about what are the soft skills more closely and why they are important, why we are discussing and thinking about them, considering study abroad experience and how to unwrap your study abroad skills, and also employers' view to soft skills. As Björn already mentioned, that it's more important everyday working life that employers look for the soft skills beside the hard skills. Yes, next please, Kadir. Again, next. As you can see, we can find many different names to the soft skills. If you look to the studies and materials, you can find lots of studies about soft skills, and we can say that soft skills have many names like a child. You can find employability skills, transferable skills, professional skills, generalistic skills, human capital. I like myself, especially the power skills, because this is what matters most of all in every life sectors are the soft skills. And during our SkillMill project, we discovered, we looked through lots of studies and picked out the most trustful, which represent the main soft skills from student mobility view and also from employers' viewpoint. And our soft skills are based on 6 big studies. And here you can find our 9 soft skills. And every soft skill has several sub-skills and competencies. For instance, if we take creativity, then the sub-skills of the creativity are resourcefulness, curiosity, outside of the box thinking, initiative, innovation. And all the soft skills and soft skills are basement of the soft skill SkillMill Accord. If you look to the big 9 soft skills, then all the skills include an element of interacting with other people. So we can say that this is one common line if we are talking about soft skills. And if we think to our studies or working life or everyday life, then interacting with people, we can't live without interacting with other people. So this is always base of the soft skills. Thank you, Kadri. Please, next one. So why, yes.
Sorry, do you need all the slides?
No, just this one. So if you think about yourself, why are the soft skills useful for you, and why they are essential for you in all your life sectors? If you think about your own life, please think about and share your thoughts in the chat. Why do you think that soft skills matter or are important? So I encourage you to use a chat and share with us your thoughts that why you think that we need soft skills, why they matter. If you think your own experience. Yes, for better international communication. Yeah, of course. Thank you, Karan. Some more thoughts? Self-management, exactly. Thank you. Better connection, better communication. Yes. They help me adapt to different and unforeseen challenges every day. Yes, it's true. It's very important. Thank you. You can share now, Kadri. Great outputs in different jobs, of course. As you can see, and you also shared with us that interacting with other people, managing also your self-understanding of yourself, that who I am, what kind of strengths, skills I have, improving work performance, and also dealing with unexpected challenges, helping, supporting other people, and also supporting healthy work environment. And also from your chat, meet new people and connect with them, also a very, very important part of soft skills. Yes, Kadri, please. So we can say that we need soft skills to adjust to the needs of rapidly changing world, because we live in the world which is changing every day, and it needs lots of adaptability and flexibility and other soft skills to adjust to the rapidly changing world. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Now, if we think closer to the international experience, and it may be study abroad, working abroad, or just traveling, this is all international experience. Please think about your international experience. What comes to your mind first? Or what you developed during your international experience? What kind of experiences you gained there? And please share it to the chat. Think about your own experience. And as I said, it can be study abroad, working abroad, traveling. What comes to your mind? What you gained there? What kind of experiences you had there? What you developed there? And please share your thoughts to the chat. There are not right or wrong answers. All are right answers what considers to your experiences. Better understanding of communicating with different cultures. Extending my own point of view. Yes, thank you. Culture, of course. Something else. Being able to network with people from diverse backgrounds. Yeah, very important. Flexibility, adaptability and tolerance, intercommunication in new environments. Yeah, thank you. Please, Kadri, share points, both traditional and extended. If we can see if we look to the traditional way, then usually people think that if thinking about international experience, that I develop my language skills, I explore other culture and get to know other people and expand my network in my own field and experience to study and work together with different people. But the extended view is much wider. It also gives much more than only getting to know other culture and develop my language skills. It gives much more experiences and develops us in many different ways. And all this is a package, all the package is useful for you afterwards, whatever you are doing in your studies, in working life, in your personal life. It is the package what you carry on in every life situation, and it helps you to deal with different experiences in your life. You not only develop your language skills, but you gain the ability to think wider, to think out of your box. And you expand your network not only in your field, but in different areas. And you gain lots of different experiences and skills. And also you develop to work together in diverse groups, in different cultures, in different locations. And I think also important is acquiring a global media tracking habit, which means a lot in working life nowadays. So always try to think wider and open your experiences and look what else you gain during international experience. Thank you, Kadri. Please, next one. American educational theorist David Kolb has created already in 1984 method how to learn from experience. And our SkillMill is based on learning from experience. And David Kolb's method is clear and easy to follow. I tried to explain the circle with one study abroad example. The first step is the specific experience, what happened during study abroad. For instance, you live in dormitory during your study abroad period and your room is very cold. There is some problem with the room heating system. To resolve this problem, you have to take contact with the dormitory administrator, and explain the situation. This is the first part, that you describe the situation, the experience, what happened during study abroad. The other step is that you reflect and analyze this experience. It means that you think what exactly happened and what you had to do, what kind of skills you had to use to deal with this situation. Thinking about this dormitory situation, you had to communicate with the administrator and explain the situation and explain your needs. It means that you need clear understanding of your needs, initiation to take contact, negotiation skills to explain your needs and situation, clear written or verbal communication, also listening and making agreements. This is a reflective observation that you analyze and reflect what kind of skills you need to deal with the situation. Next one is creating connection and principles. It means that you think about other situations you had before this dormitory situation, and you find the connections with other situations where you also need to use these skills as negotiation, initiation, verbal or written communication, and so on. And you connect the previous experiences with this experience, and you connect the skills all together to better understanding what was happened before this situation. And the fourth step, applying skills and knowledge, it means if you have understand your situation and the skills you needed there and connected it with previous situations, you can be more conscious that you can use these skills in the future in new situations. And if you have reflected on this situation and you are now more aware and more conscious, then it's more easy to use all the skills in new experiences, in new situations. And this circle goes on and on. And the main thing in this circle is the reflective observation. If we reflect and understand the situation and understand what kind of skills helped me, supported me to get through in this situation, then I'm aware of my skills and can use them in new situations in the future. I ask some feedback. Is it understandable for you? Is my explanation clear? Björn is...
Yes, because we need to combine all these four categories.
Yes, all these four categories are important. Then it makes the whole thing together. That you start with this experience description, then you reflect it, observe it, then you connect it with your previous experiences and skills, and then you can use them in new experiences. Is it? Do you have some more? Is anybody having some question about it?
Maybe I'll do a translate to Hebrew, just so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
אז בעצם, מה שהיא מראה לנו כאן זה שיש לך חוויה אישית שקוראת לך, רבת עם בעל הבית שלך, או שהיית צריך לעשות איזשהו רפרט מול אנשים ממדינות שונות שאתה לא כל כך מכיר, ואז יש את התהליך של החשיבה על מה שקרה לך, כי אתה מסתכל על זה אחורה, ואתה צריך לעשות את החיבור הזה בין מה קרה לי פה עכשיו, רבתי עם הבעל בית שלי, אוקיי, בשפה שאני לא מכיר, ואיך זה נתן לי בכלל, כאילו, איך אתה בכלל מתרגם את הדבר הזה עברתי פה איזושהי חוויה רב-תרבותית, אני למדתי איך מתמודדים עם בן אדם שלא מגיע מהתרבות שלי, בנושאים שקשורים לכסף, לדוגמה. ואז זה מעגליות כזאת שלא בהכרח נוצרת, אנחנו צריכים ליצור את החיבורים האלה. אוקיי, I think... זה עזר למישהו או שזה לא... אוקיי. אוקיי, I tried.
Thank you very much.
אנחנו בסדר בשני השפות. Also in English, also in Hebrew, we understand.
Okay, thank you very much.
You were kind of quiet, so that's why.
It's good. No, Adi, next please. So it's time for a small mind game. Is Adi next? Please take a blank sheet in your computer, or you can also take paper and pencil. You can do it by hand in the paper, or you can also use blank sheet in your computer. And please draw the timeline of your life and mark there all your international experiences. It means study abroad, to working abroad, traveling, all your various international experiences. Let's take some 3 minutes for that. So timeline of your life and mark there all your international experiences.
Do you expect us to share with you the timeline?
No, just for yourself right now.
Right.
For timeline.
Okay.
Later
thanks.
on, you can share just for yourself right now.
Thanks.
So are you ready to continue? Please, Kadri, next one.
Maybe 1 minute more. We said 3 minutes, then a little bit time for participants. And
Audrey, please now share the next.
Yes.
Now, if you have draw the timeline of with your international experiences, please mark or point out the three most important from your side. Three most important learning experiences where you learned. It means you look to your timeline where you marked your international experiences, and you mark or point out three most important considering your learning experiences, where you learned most of all. And also, let's take 3 minutes for that. Audrey. Do you remember the task that you point out the three most important learning experiences? We lost you. What is it? You are muted. You are muted. Audrey, you are muted. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Just something happened with the internet, and when things start to happen, then they don't stop. Does it work again for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
And so let's go on. Can you share the next step, Audrey?
Yeah, I can do it.
And now, if you have pointed out the three most important learning experiences, please write to each of these three highlighted experiences 3 to 4 soft skills you trained them. So these three pointed out experiences, write to these experiences 3 or 4 soft skills you trained them. And let's take 5 minutes. I think, Audrey, you can continue now.
Yeah, I can see that probably at least some of the people are finished. We can continue from here. And now you have the last chance here to reflect even a little bit more. You have carefully thought about your own experiences abroad, and you have recognized the skills you have probably trained or developed during those experiences. And if possible, then I ask from our dear host, some of you can probably divide the participants into breakout rooms, 2 persons into 1 room. And I not right away, but I ask you to just quickly share in pairs one of your international experience you chose, and you wrote those skills. And I kindly ask you to also focus more on those skills, because we know when we start sharing our experiences, there are so many emotions involved and everything and details. But in this context, I ask you to just focus more on those skills and share with each other, let's say for another 5 minutes, 2.5 for each, then and then we will meet here again and go quickly to the end with our presentation, and quickly look at the employer's view, and then give floor to our dear colleague from Scotland and Uppsala University. Is it possible for the host to divide?
Yes, I'll do it now.
Yes. And just let's say 5 minutes for quick sharing. What did you discover in this mind mapping? Take a look at one international experience you.
Can you, that we can stay in this main room, is it possible to do so that you don't divide us to our breakout rooms?
Just 4 of us out from the breakout rooms.
Yes.
But we can also stand out, and then probably some people.
למה לעזור לך? כמה בחדר?
2. הנה, לא, אני אעשה את זה עכשיו.
אוקיי. אולי עדיף 3, כי אם מישהו לא באמת מחובר, אז אנשים לא יישארו לבד בחדר.
אני רואה שיש 2.
If there are uneven pairs, I can also jump in to be the extra person somewhere.
Great.
Because I'm also a study abroad alumni.
Hey, I just came back. I'm here twice in case like something goes wrong. I have the other computer for running the app on it as well, but no, there might be someone without a partner now because I just ran away.
Okay, great. Just see if I can assign it to other room.
Elias, can you hear me? We
Yes.
have, I guess we have already used time too much. We are short with the time. I will really try to do it as quickly as possible with the ending, and leave the floor to you then.
Okay. Yeah, I have a very short presentation only, and then afterwards is mainly time for trying out the app, and then if people want to stick around and discuss it, then.
And we will be also afterwards just here if in case anyone has a question or comment, just to share. And so.
Yeah, I stayed alone in my breakout room, so I did.
Sorry, it might have been my fault because I
Me too. Someone either quit or just decided not to be in the breakout room. But it's really nice to meet you. Thank you very much for a lovely presentation.
I mean, now the three of us are here. You might as well treat this as your breakout room.
Yeah, absolutely. Can
So we were left 7. I'm a bit confused.
I think the other ones are all in breakout rooms and discussing kind of what was the exact Kadri was.
We are like leftover.
No, I think you're the ones that already are either back from the breakout rooms, or I don't know
No, I
exactly.
was in room 8 and there was no one but me. So I kind of got bored by myself being there.
Okay, I'm so sorry to hear that, but as you see, we started with the problems, the technical, but as much we talk here about the importance of soft skills, you can observe how important the hard skills actually are in my case.
I have to say that you make it very relevant and very connective to the real life.
So, yeah, but I really feel that we are somehow opponents to ourselves, at least me and Crystal here today. But we do our best.
No, I'm just joking. It's fine. No, it's actually interesting that something that was there all along and you kind of framed it, like you put it in definition and you give it names, but it's something that was there all along. It's just, I guess, more popular now, or more people do it, or there's willingness to encourage that. So it becomes something more formal. And it has actually, it's funny because the very first introduction that I'm sorry, I'm not good with names. I'm more connected with numbers. But the guy that was speaking from Sweden, so he was talking about soft skills and hard skills. And I'm like, okay, never heard that before. What is soft skills and hard skills? So quickly I went to Google and I got it. And then you start with your presentation and I'm like, okay. Yeah. And here's a culture gap right there, because we need answers now. We need to know yesterday, and there's a different rhythm.
I agree with you totally, and they are like so essential to us in our everyday life. In one point of view, but in the other point of view, we actually need to become more aware to be able to express them and verbalize them in attractive way when we think about employability and increasing our knowledges about power skills, which we have to use.
It's funny because you guys put it there, you put like young students, and I think it's relevant to everyone. I wouldn't narrow it down to young students, not to criticize or anything. I mean, I have done that as a young student, fine. So it makes total sense. But I know nowadays so many people that are older that decides, they want to go study or do something different. So I wouldn't narrow it down. I would put students in general.
we
Absolutely.
had this kind of discussion a lot in the beginning when we developed the app, because from the Erasmus perspective, technically this is supposed to be only for exchange students, right, or focused on exchange students, and we were like, no, this is kind of relevant for all students and maybe even all people. If you're transitioning in between jobs, for example, you might want to
Exactly.
fresh up on your soft skills, so to say, right? And so this is a very, very relevant thing, I think, for many people, and kind of a challenging thing, right? To
Totally.
to be there to reflect on what happened. Does this mean I'm a good communicator or not? And right, so this is it's a difficult thing for everyone in a way.
It's interesting. I mean, I feel lucky. I feel like I
Hi,
got to be
guys.
with the VIP people.
Yeah. Let me know when you want me to stop the sessions, because
Yeah,
I realized
I
that
would like you to stop because
now.
I can't
Okay,
do that.
great. Yes. I realized that. And
I got in room 8 and I was by myself, so I got
oh,
back
so you
to
came
the-
back.
Yeah,
Great.
I was waiting
So-
and waiting. So
I think she assigned me and her by accident or something, although I am an Erasmus alumni, so I had a lot to talk about. But I thought, okay, wait, who is going to stop the, okay, so they're all going to come back soon. They have 30 more seconds to talk.
so you want to share with us? You want to talk to us?
Me? No, I shared with Clara. She was an amazing person. Wow. Did you share, Dana? Oh, here she is.
Well, I actually heard from the expert there. I mean, I did that when I was after the service in the army. I mean, it wasn't planned or anything, but I found myself in New York registering, you know, and signing and going for my big trip, coming back and realizing I was approved. So I just found myself going to university in the state, which was awesome. It was really amazing experience. So my really first stage of life, the real life, like marriage and kids and studying, actually happened in New York. And but we spoke earlier, and I mentioned that I wouldn't narrow down to young students. I would put it for everyone.
Yeah.
So how is it this situation? Are we back already?
There's an echo when you speak.
So now we are all back in the main session.
Okay.
Shall I stop the breaking out rooms?
Yeah,
I already stopped it. I already stopped it now.
Okay.
I hope they return. And I try to move on from here, because otherwise we are so much misusing our time here. I mean, we as presenters have been too slow, but you have had the possibility to share with each other your own experiences, and as I hope you felt all that it is kind to share and think about your experiences, especially when someone is listening to them, interested of what you are saying and sharing. And just to put this all to one picture and have the understanding of those skills which are in this very room, I ask you to go to the menti.com, or Crystal can share in the chat the direct link. You can click on that and go to the Menti environment, and right there, please, those 3 most important skills relevant to your experience. And then hopefully I can share the full picture quickly here and go towards the ending. Did the link work for you? Some of you are knocking, then
Yes.
I hope it did. If not, just let us know.
So to write three skills that we've gained.
Yeah, exactly. 3 skills.
Sorry.
Okay.
Kari, I missed the link. Could you share it again, or
Yes.
in the chat?
Yes, of course I can do that, but that's
I
slow.
share in the chat this menti.com link. Did you see?
Did you receive it, Pierre?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And let's see what comes out of it.
Can you share the code again, please?
Didn't the link work for you? The code is here. Can you see it right now here on the Menti page 50796954 if you need the code. And the link is on the chat. And as we can see, the communication is leading here, the biggest one, but others are coming back, catching the communication, decision-making, problem-solving, all the really important skills which Crystal has mentioned. And when you read other reports and research papers, then you find those kind of words there, lots of them. Yeah, empathy, creativity, leadership, adaptability, flexibility. Quite nice picture is coming out of the sharing part. And now I hope to just run towards the end. So is it then correctly the
No.
No, you share then. Okay, I will switch and so.
Yes, that's correct.
And now we have the words for the skills. We can express them that, yes, I do have this or that skill, I've gained it or I've trained it during my abroad experiences. But it's not enough when we think about employability, when we think about the self-awareness. What we need more is to express it convincingly, attractively. And this is the point where storytelling comes and gives us a hand. And we in the SkillMill team decided to rely on the really an old model method for storytelling, for reflecting your experiences in terms of skills and competences. And why we did decide for the method, it's really so many years used by HR persons in career field, in job interviews and so on. And this is a simple, well understandable and really simply also it is simple to use. The different parts of it are understandable. You have to describe the situation. It is good to also describe or explain the task, plus what was the situation about, what you were expected there in this situation, or what were your own expectations, and so on. Then the A is the action part, what you actually did do, how did you react, how did you communicate, etc. And in the end, also verbalize the result, the positive outcome of the situation. What did happen actually in the end? Where did you end up with the situation? What was the achievement of yours? So this is the model what we are also considering like a really important part of the SkillMill app idea and theory behind that. The storytelling helps us convincingly to verbalize, to express to ourselves, but also for the employers why we actually do think that we have really good communication skills. How do we know that? How are we convinced of that, and so on. So create a list of your skills is the one suggestion, thinking of the situation and examples, but also really important, rehearse your soft skill stories. And this is something what the SkillMill app will probably help us a lot. At least I'm so hopeful and inspired by that. And here I won't be stopping too much. We just added here some employers' view from the World Economic Forum, from LinkedIn, how the employers and recruiters actually see the skills changing, the importance of the skills. Nothing new here, as Dana pointed out in the breakout room time, that actually quite knowledge what we already have known for a long time, but just to remind ourselves that especially in those rapidly changing times, those skills which are related to the interaction with other people, especially communication, solving problems, being creative, showing initiative, being ready to learn throughout life, and of course the technology and digital fluency. We can't forget that when we look towards the future. And quick look to the LinkedIn version. It tells us basically the same thing. When you look at the left side, 2020, there are top 5 of soft skills, which are actually also in this year pointed out a little bit in a different order, but still they are there and they are important. As you see, the resilience and adaptability is taken the first place in this topic, and it's quite understandable what has happened during the pandemic. We all had to adapt, we all had to increase our resilience and survival skills. So those are important, and the digital fluency here as well. And I'd like to take this all together right now with really an old knowledge. I really like, Dana, that you pointed this out, and I wanted to end with this, that the soft skills actually are so much important than we have been used to think about them. Then we have been aware. We know that, but we don't take the fact that seriously, especially the employers. It has changed already during last decades, slowly, but it has. And the hard skills matter also. They are important, but without soft skills, it is becoming quite hard. This is a really old research paper, 100 years old, from engineering education study, planning the curricula of engineering education. And already then they talked that soft skills actually matter. 2/3 of and 1/3 of the importance belongs to the hard skills. But still, during the whole century, we have somehow spent most resources, the 2/3 of the resources, to train the hard skills actually in university, in vocational schools, and all over. And 1/3 has been left for the soft skills training, if all. This has been more like thought like it is like something essential what we all do have by birth, but now students, now people generally know that they have to train them, they have to become aware, and also the employers not only are aware about that, but the employers nowadays are requiring the soft skills. They are ready to train, to retrain or upskill their employees to train also the soft skills next to the hard skills. So they really value this, especially during the 2 last pandemic years. It is something what we can say. And with this, I will take this together, and we really thank you for the attention and being there. And I will give the floor now to our dear colleague from Gotland, the game designer, magician in our eyes, who will introduce the rest of the SkillMill project, the main thing.
Yes, thank you. Next time, keep the expectations lower, then I have an easier time. But no, thank you very much for the introduction, Kadri. And yeah, I think I'm going to have a couple of quick words about the app, kind of how we got where we are. And then I kind of want to get as quickly as possible to the point where you can try the app, and ideally we have a bit of time to give feedback in the end where you can tell us a bit what you think and how you like it. But yeah, a big to start this whole thing, here is a QR code. You can scan this will appear later again. Björn can also put links in the chat for downloading the app, so you can or he has done this now, so you can oh no, I think you sent it as a direct message to me, Björn, not to the all chat, but yes, there it goes. So you can already try downloading the app now, then you're finished with the download by the end of my presentation, hopefully, and you can dive right in. But I'll have the QR codes back in a second, when at the end of the presentation, so then you have a lot of time to kind of scan them. Yeah, just a couple words for the app itself. The app is built so that it helps you capture, understand, and verbalize your soft skills understanding. This means, like Kadri and Krista already alluded to, soft skills are a thing that you don't learn by going to school necessarily, right? These are skills that you learn in everyday life, also in school. I think many of you probably have had quite annoying group work experience in university where you had to train a lot of soft skills to make your way through that and pass the assignment. And so that's exactly one of those situations that would be great if you could write a little story about what you learned during an experience like that, to add that to, for example, your motivational letter or personal letter in an application, to show that you're good at working with a diverse group of people, or you're good at working under pressure, or whatever it might be that you've excelled at during that difficult group project, for example. And that's exactly what the app is there to do for you. And specifically how we approach this is that, first of all, the first step is for you, and this is the current version of the app, and I'll get a bit more into this. Like Björn said, it's set to release next year around March or April, and so we're right now very much still in development, and in the beta phase, and we decided to release as early as possible. There's this saying, if you're not embarrassed by your first release, then you release too late. And so we try to get out as early as possible. And I think at this point we're not quite as embarrassed anymore, but because we've had some releases behind us already. But yeah, so the kind of user journey through the app is that first, and you'll see this, you'll land on what we call the canvas. And this is, for us, this is the way that you capture a situation with, and we decided to use emoji there as a kind of symbol library that allow you to construct a difficult situation. And this is just so that you can remember later on, oh, this was that one time where I had the annoying group work project at university and I had to stay up until midnight to get it done before the deadline. And we don't want you to have to write all of that. And so the idea is that you can use emoji to kind of, like on a canvas, paint your situation. You can also use text, but the goal here is to minimize the text input. As soon as you've kind of identified the relevant situation, we will dive in with what we call exploration. And this is where, since you've selected kind of a soft skill to explore in the first place, or to find a situation for, we will help you really figure out and narrow down what about that soft skill is the thing. So imagine in critical thinking, right? There are aspects, sub aspects to this. We call these competences in a skill. Like, for example, being able to, and I might get this wrong here now, but being able to look at information, right, and analyze the information so that you can then make a solid decision. And so during exploration, you get to kind of go through these competences and see which of the aspects of the skill are really important to you. And this will come back into use later on, because this will help you write a compelling story about your experience, right? Because you can be very specific about what type of skill and what type of action, what type of activities did you improve or did you become better at. In the next step, we have insights exercises. In those, you then, after you kind of narrow down your previous selection, right? So if you've selected multiple competences before, this is the step where we help you kind of compare them against each other to really find out which was the most important element. And then in the last step, we'll have verbalization exercises, and those are there for you to write a compelling story. So in the current version of the verbalization exercise, we're using something called the CAR model, C-A-R, and not STAR model. What that basically means is that the C here stands for challenge, and that's in essence that combines the situation and the task into one step, right? And we chose to go with the CAR model for now, because the goal here really is that you can write one short sentence or paragraph that's right, short, sweet, and snappy, and you can put that into your personal letter or your your cover letter. And then we would recommend to you, and we're working on this exercise as well, to have a STAR exercise done as well, so that if you are in an interview situation, you can elaborate, right? And you can kind of present the full STAR exercise. Yeah, and at the end, after you've written all your stories, and this is, we'll get to it, but this is at the end, all of your stories are collected in what we call the storybook. So this is, on the one hand, a kind of skills encyclopedia, so you can go in there and you can read about the definitions of the skills and competences. And on the other hand, this is also where all of the stories that you write, they will be compiled there for you. So if you ever need to apply for a job and they're looking for a strong critical thinker or an independent worker, then you can jump into critical thinking or into self-management, and you are presented immediately with all of your stories, and you can kind of go through there and find the ones that are relevant for your job and just copy paste them into your cover letter, and boom, you're ready to go, right? So this is kind of going to be your one-stop shop in the end, to kind of communicate your skills development to others. And of course, you can look into this as well, just for your own sake, to think back to the good old times when you had to stay up until midnight for university projects. But yeah, then I will talk a couple words about app development and kind of how we approach this. And I mentioned already, we try to release this as early as possible into a beta state and try to get feedback from this. But this also means that things might not work too great. So for now, how we do this, we say it's a highly iterative process, right? And I'll show you a very concrete example in a second. But typically this means for us, someone does a sketch on paper or on an iPad or something, just what you would call maybe a wireframe, just a very basic sketch. Then we do a mock-up, so things look a bit prettier and a bit more like they're supposed to look in the final app. Then we'll give this to our developers and they will implement it into the actual app. And then we'll start testing it. And then we'll find out that everything was wrong and we'll have to redo everything again. And then the process begins again from the beginning. And so this is one of these examples. You can kind of see the process of our login screen going from the left to the right. You see kind of a lot of different sketches of how the mill could look like and how the text in the mill could look like, and a lot of different art styles of how the entire app could look like and how this transitioned over time. And now you can see the login screen that actually ended up in the app. And it was kind of funny as you see the one all the way to the right is how it looks in the app, and the one kind of a bit above to the left, that's the mock-up, right? So it's even those two are a bit different. And then another thing is that in the beginning, we were thinking that the login screen is going to be the first thing that you see. And so we put a lot of effort into kind of designing it and thinking about it as the kind of first thing that you will see when you open the app. And now it's hidden somewhere in a menu, and you will not see it. I challenge you to find the login screen. Maybe if you find the login screen, then I don't know. I don't have anything to give away. If I would have something to give away, I would give it away for you finding the login screen. But this is kind of the process of how things work. And so if you use the app, we would love your feedback, but keep in mind that things might be broken. They might break while you're using them. They might look very weird, or text might be cut off, or things might not work. And we are aware of some of those issues, and some of these issues we might never have seen ourselves, right? This is partly also because there are millions of different phones and screen sizes out there, and it's hard to really get it right the first time. So if you find anything that doesn't work, I'm going to stick around for a bit longer, and you can tell me about it right here. And otherwise, if you're on iOS, there's a feature through Test Flight to send feedback directly to us. And otherwise, you can email us at skillmill@uu.se and give us feedback, and if possible, attach some screenshots. Even if you just want to send us a screenshot and one line of feedback, we'll take what we can get. So yeah, that would be great. Otherwise, I would say that the main core of the app, it works. You can get all the way to the verbalization. You can already write a little story. The storybook right now is very heavily under construction. But yeah, if you want to keep the app installed, we're going to go on a bit of a break over the next 2 weeks or so. But in the beginning of January, we'll be back in action. And then almost every day or every second day, if you open up your phone, you should see a new update for the app that will fix a little thing here or a little thing there. And so please be patient with us over the next few months while we're kind of trying to polish the last little pieces of the app. And yeah, like I said, I'm very happy for you to try it, and I would love to hear your feedback. And if you don't want to share it now and want to share it later, then this is how you can reach out to us. You can also, there's a website, it links then to another website with a lot of information, but it's skillmill.speldesign.uu.se. That is game design in Swedish. And again, the skillmill@uu.se is the email that you can send us information to. And now I will just leave it on this slide right here. So if you missed the links before, the QR codes before, I'll just leave this here. You can scan this again. It should get you straight to the page for downloading the app. And yeah, that's it about the app. I think the rest of the talking has to be done by the app itself. And I will say goodbye for now. And I would say maybe we can give you 5 minutes or so if you haven't already downloaded and checked out the app to do so. And then I'll stick around, and I'm happy to answer any questions or yeah, hear to any of your feedback or any problems that you've encountered. And yeah, that's it for me. I'll leave this up for now, but yeah, otherwise, if someone wants to jump in and say some closing words, or if you need to run away to your next appointment, then feel free to do so.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elias. It was really interesting and inspiring to see the process of the app. It's like a Disney movie process with how it's a first idea and in your head, and then it's getting together into something that you actually have on your phone. It's Amazing. I actually found the logins and sign up page. Just as you said, it was harder.
Yes.
So thank you everyone who participated and joined our special workshop for alumni Erasmus Plus. And if you have anything else to add or ask, you have all the information and in the chat of who to reach out to at the app or about Erasmus Plus opportunities for you. It was lovely having you all and thank you for your time. See you in the next events.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you
lovely
very much, everyone.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
תודה רבה.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.